When it comes down to love, dating, romance, matters of the heart, there are no guarantees. You are going to have to roll the dice and hope you picked wisely. One of my closest friends, back in my early 20s, one of my closest friends told me she's about to get married and asked me, did I want to be in a wedding? I'm like, hold up, is what I'm saying. Who are you getting ready to marry? We're going to call him Steady Eddie. And I looked at her and I said, cut out the foolery. Me and you both know you are not in love with that guy. So cut out the foolery. Because she was in love with another guy. We're going to call him Pretty Ricky. I said, so why are you about to waste Addie's time? And her response was this. She said, years ago, I got my heart broken dating this guy I was in love with. She said, and that was the worst feeling that she ever had in her life. And that she would never go through that again. And she said, one thing I know about Eddie, he loves me to death. And I can control him. Basically, if I need him to do something, he will do it. And she said, as far as Pretty Ricky, or we can call him Ricky, she said, that dude is a player, and I ain't gonna do nothing but mess around, get my heart broken again. So I am going to marry the guy that I can control and that I know loves me, and I know he'll always be there for me. I said, well, hold up. How about this? How you feel about him? She said, I like him. He okay. We get along good. So then went back to the joke part of, well, are you going to be part of my wedding? I said, and she cracked jokes about me being her best man. And I go, no, absolutely not. I said, I will show up to the wedding. And I'm looking at it going, doesn't the groom get to pick his best man? The fact that you trying to pick the best man for your husband is already wrong. Okay. They get married. About a year and a half go by. Close to 2 years. And I ain't hearing my friend complain about nothing. And now I'm thinking to myself, maybe she was right. Maybe she knew what the hell she was talking about. Because it seemed like she was living a pretty good life. I mean, they were getting along good together. Then I get a phone call. And she tells me she ran into her ex. And she said that was the first time that she had that special feeling where her heart was beating at 100 miles an hour and she was yearning for somebody. She said she hadn't felt that feeling in years. Now take it, she had only been married about a year and a half. But she said she hadn't felt that feeling in years. So I go, please tell me you told that man that you were happily married. Because by this time she had a kid. I said, so please tell me you tell that man you were happily married. It was nice to see you. You gave him a hug, little church hug, let him go, and you went on about your business. She was like, no, and smiled. She said, I supposed to be going to see him tomorrow. I tell my friend, look here, you're about to ruin your marriage. I said, you was in love with that other guy. I ain't never once heard you talk like you had any feelings about that joker you married, but you was in love with that other guy. I said, cancel it. Do not go see that guy. You about to ruin your marriage. About a week later, I get a call from her. And she says she went to see Pretty Ricky. I said, oh, I told you to cancel that date. Didn't I tell you to cancel it? Before I could finish saying no words, she said as soon as I stepped into his place, the joker grabbed me. She said we made love from the bottom of his spot all the way up to the top and everywhere else in the middle. She said that was the best love she had in, I'm going to say 2 years, since the last time she had been with him. I said, I hope that was a one-off. I hope you're done with this, because you're about to ruin your marriage. No, it wasn't a one-off. For about the next, I'm going to say year or so, couple years, every time that woman got a little free time, she was sneaking off, hooking up with Pretty Ricky. But there was also something else different going on in the house. She said her and her husband was getting into some of the biggest fights over intimacy. Or basically getting in fights because she never ever wanted to put out. I said, I told you, you should have never went back fooling with your ex. You was about to tear your house up. And she tells me this. She said, look, I told my husband, if I'm not putting out enough, go get yourself a side chick and you can sleep with her. Because she explained to me that other than that, everything else in their marriage was great. I'm thinking, great from whose perspective, yours or his? Yeah, things are great to you because he paying the bills, cutting the grass, make sure the car's clean, and running all your errands. I said, but from a man's perspective, oh, it is horrible if his wife never ever wants to be intimate. And her response was, I told him he can get a side chick. I said, the man didn't marry you to get a side chick, he married you to be with you. And I reminded her, I said, remember, didn't you want a guy that was gonna love you unconditionally? Somebody you could control, somebody that you knew was gonna always be there? And she said, yeah, but I was wrong. And I knew I was wrong the first minute I laid eyes on my ex. I knew I made a terrible mistake marrying the other guy. Okay, so time going by. She's still sneaking out, seeing Pretty Ricky. She's still getting into all these fights weekly with her husband because she don't want to put out. This is her new life. It's been going on. Let's say a couple more years go by. It's about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I get a phone call. And it's her, my friend. And I look down at the phone going, who the hell calling me in the middle of the night? And when I see it's her number, I'm thinking, what in the hell? It must be a major emergency because it's the middle of the night. This woman is married. I know ain't no way in the hell she'd be able to call me. So I'm going, hey, what's going on? She go, Pretty Ricky is dating somebody else. And he told me if I want to be in a monogamous relationship with him, I am going to have to get out of that marriage and be with him 100% because he's done playing second fiddle. So I go, wait a minute. Nobody died? That's it? I I said, it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Where's your husband? Well, I couldn't sleep. I sent him to the store to get me something because I had to talk to somebody about this. I said, look here, you got a choice. You can leave your house and go with Pretty Ricky, or you can cut that thing off and try to make your marriage work again. And she was like, by this time they had 2 kids. She said, I just can't up and leave my family like this, or I can't just break this up like this. But my heart ain't here no more, and I don't want to be here. I said, I told you years ago, you should have never stepped on that latch and messed with that guy. You knew how you felt about him. But okay. Pretty Ricky starts dating his new woman. Old girl starts more and more arguments in the house with her husband about all kind of little things. They went from maybe 1 argument a week to about 2, but definitely once a week, every week, because she wasn't putting out nothing now. Pretty Ricky decides that he's moving on. He with that other girl. And he telling her that if you don't come at me 100% correct, I'm about to get married to this chick and we leave in this area. My friend couldn't get out the relationship. Pretty Ricky gets married and leaves the area. She figured out how to weasel her way out of that marriage. She blamed it all on her husband because he was a sex addict and he was harassing her and making her life a living hell. So she gets out of that marriage and blames it all on her husband. So now he took a whole bunch of L's in this situation. As time goes by, she gets into the single life. And it seemed like my buddy kind of liked the single life. Her ex-husband periodically calls her because I guess he never really got over it, and he want that back to work. I think my ex got past Pretty Ricky because she stopped bringing him up. She doesn't talk about him that much more. So, like I started out in the beginning, there are no guarantees when it comes down to love, relationships, matters of the heart. You've got to roll the dice and hope you picked wisely. Look here, y'all. My name is Daryl Moore. Check out my book, Payback. That's Daryl Moore. Check out my book, Payback.